Hey guys, real quick, today's episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is absolutely the easiest way to build a beautiful website. But Joe, I don't know how to make a website. Doesn't matter! Squarespace walks you through the whole dang process, and they'll help you make professionally designed sites, even if you've never done it before. Sounds awesome, right? It is, and you can sign up without a credit card. Just click here to go to squarespace.com/epichow2 and save 10% off your new subscription by using the code EPICHOW2. Squarespace. Build it beautiful. You've played every video game out there, haven't you? I bet you've beaten them all twice, because you're kind of an addict. But you've got ideas how to make them better, don't you? Up there in your think spot. You're sick of just playing games. It's time to create them. This is Epic How To. Create a video game. You might think the best way to start making video games is to get a job working for a game developer. But according to successful game developers, no one in the industry will hire you unless you've already got games under your name. If you want to start making video games, you have to do it on your own. You can't just sit down at the keyboard and magically make a game. Before you start, you need to design a document. This will organize your ideas and give you something to refer back to when working on your game. What kind of game do you want to make? What's the genre? How does it play? What's the story? What other existing games is it like? These are some of the questions your design document should answer. Now, it's time to start making your game, bucko. First, you're going to need an engine. A video game's engine is the framework that does everything from render graphics on screen, output sound, and handle artificial intelligence for non-playable characters. The engine is the core of what makes the game work. When you push a button on the controller and your character jumps, that's the engine making it happen. Now, you could create an engine entirely from scratch, but it's easier to use an existing engine. That way, you can focus on making the actual game and not worrying about the technical stuff. Now, what engine you use will depend on what kind of game you want to make. If you're making a 2D game, there are tons of engines to choose from, like Game Maker, RPG Maker, Adventure Game Studio, and Game Salad. These engines tend to be more basic, but don't let their simplicity fool you. Undertale, one of the most popular and critically acclaimed games of 2015, was made entirely in Game Maker. If you want to make 3D games, some of the more popular options are Unity, Unreal, and Source. Some games made in Unity include Pillars of Eternity, Ori and the Blind Forest, Her Story, and Dreamfall Chapters. The Unreal Engine has powered Arkham Knight, Life is Strange, Mass Effect, and Gears of War. That's like some legit gaming right there. Source is the engine behind Half-Life 2, Portal 2, and the Stanley Parable. Alright, you've got an engine, but now you're gonna need assets. Assets are what game developers call the stuff you see and hear in the game. We're talking player characters, environments, background music, and sound effects. Without assets, a game is just a bunch of binary code. How you make your graphics depends on whether your game is 2D or 3D. If it's 2D, you can use bitmap or vector-based graphics. Bitmap or raster graphics are composed of individual pixels. They're adorable. Each pixel has its own color value, and the computer displays each pixel to form an entire picture. The most basic form of bitmap graphics is pixel art. For pixel art, an artist puts together individually colored pixels to make up a larger picture, almost like a mosaic painting. Remember those old Nintendo games? Sure you do. They're the best. They used pixel art. You can make pixel art in any image program that lets you draw on a pixel by pixel level. Vector-based graphics use a series of points connected by lines to create complex shapes. These shapes can then be layered on top of each other, creating a fully fleshed out picture. Though vector art has a smaller file size than bitmap art, you're going to need a specialized program to create it. For 3D games, you can use voxels or 3D models. Voxels are three-dimensional pixels. Voxels are basically just pixels with volume and look like little squares. Minecraft is one of the most popular games with voxel art. 3D models are three-dimensional figures. It's like your computer is sculpting a character out of digital clay. You're going to need special software to get into 3D modeling, and it's very difficult to learn, but the results are worth it. Not much of an artist? You can hire someone or find free art assets online. Just make sure you check with the creators before including them in your game. Sound is one of the most underrated aspects of game design. Imagine going into a pipe as Mario without that classic. Yeah, that sound. It's good. To make sound effects, you're going to want to learn about Foley art, reproducing a sound effect with everyday items. For example, to get the sound of broken glass, you can fill a bag with keys and loose change, or break a glass. To get the sound of a gun cocking, quickly latch and unlatch a briefcase. For background music, you can compose and record it yourself, or if you're not musically inclined, license it from other people that are more talented than you. Now, you have art and sound, but you need something for your players to do. That, my friend, is where level design comes in. Plan out your levels beforehand on pencil and paper. This is going to help you visualize your level and get you thinking about what you want your players to do and where you want them to go. You're going to want to start with something easy, introducing your game mechanics. Then slowly ramp up the difficulty and reward the players for conquering the level. For inspiration, think about your favorite levels you've played and what made them work. All right, your game is done. But now you got to get it out there for the world to see. In the old days, you'd have to try and get your game in a physical store or sell it on a disc by mail. But this is the future, baby. You can put your game up on the internet. You can put your game up on a website, but unless you're giving it away for free, you're gonna have to handle all that transaction stuff, and you don't want to do that. You're a video game guy now. Plus, if your game got real popular, you might not be able to handle all the traffic. If you don't want to deal with all of that crap, you could use a digital distribution platform. With over 65 million users, Steam is the most ubiquitous platform. But there's also Desura, Green Man Gaming, and Itch.io. For just a little cut of the profits, these platforms will handle order processing, piracy prevention, and seamlessly sending your players any updates you make for the game. Yes! You did it! You made a game and it's out there in the world. You know what? I just might get around to playing it someday. I'm not sure though. I have a huge backlog. There's so many good games out there, you know? Right? How'd you even make this game with all those good games out there? This has been Epic How To. For a free Squarespace trial with no credit card required, click the link here. Sign up now and you're going to save 10% on a new subscription by using the code EPICHOW2. That's the name of the show in case you forgot. Squarespace! Build it beautiful.